Hey guys, good morning. Today is January 7th, day 7 of Wise Up, a daily dose of wisdom from the book of Proverbs for your daily life. I'm excited to get started. Happy Sunday. We're looking at verses 21 through 23. When I was in college, I want to tell you this. When I was in college, we had a speaker come, and her name was Temple Grandin, and she works in agriculture. She works with cattle. And basically, she noticed that as cattle were being led to the slaughterhouse, that it was kind of a point of problems, right? There were all kinds of issues with the way that they were doing cattle shoots and different things. And so she developed a system for cattle shoots that would actually make it easier for both the people leading and kind of corralling the cattle, but also easier for the cattle as well. And so she said, I was doing some research to read about it, and I also remember her telling us this, but as she studied their behavior, she basically said this one very profound thing. Why not make our system of taking the cattle to the slaughterhouses as similar to their natural instincts as possible, so that they won't stress out and they'll walk right in without even noticing, right? Did you catch that? She said, let's make it as close to their natural instincts so that they won't even notice. You know, we're looking at the story today in chapter 7 that King Solomon writes about, and I encourage you to read the whole chapter, especially this story, because this won't make sense unless you do. It'll just take 2 minutes of your time. But here's our passage. With much seductive speech, she persuades him. With her smooth talk, she compels him. All at once he follows her, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a stag is caught in a till, or is caught fast until an arrow pierces its liver, as a bird rushes into a snare. He doesn't know that it will cost him his life. Who's this man? Who's this woman? Read the chapter and you'll be able to follow along. But Solomon is watching this scene play out. Right? Have you ever watched a movie and you kind of see the main character or one of the characters like walking right into a trap or right into a bad part, and all you want to do is rip your hair out and say, no, don't go over there, right? Or don't do that, because you just know, like, you can see the bad coming. That's exactly what Solomon is witnessing right now. It's like he's standing in this window and he's looking down and watching this man being led astray by this woman who wants nothing good for him, right? And he's watching it happen, and he's saying he's being led astray and he's being seduced and he's being won over. But what does he say at the very end? But he doesn't even know that it will cost him his life. Let me ask you this question. How many things are around us that are trying to win us over every day, that when we pursue them are actually costing us our lives? And we, like that man, like the characters in the movie, don't even know. We don't even see it. Solomon is standing here watching this happen. And it makes me think of this question. And it's a question I'm asking you today just to think about. But how can we be led astray? What are the things in our lives, in our society, in our culture, the ideas that your friends think at school and all of this? What are those ideas and things that are trying to lead us astray that we may or may not even be paying any attention to? Think about that for a while. And think about that today, because when we think about them, we can then ask God to show us what those are and show us His truth and give us His wisdom to know and discern between the things that lead to the life that He wants for us and lead us away from the things that are leading us astray. You know, similarly, Paul says in Colossians, right at the beginning, chapter 2, he says, see to it that no one takes you captive through empty philosophies and deceptive philosophies which depend on human tradition. And he continues on, right? His whole point is saying that you know the truth. God has given us the truth. Make sure that you aren't led astray by these things that sound good, but in the end lead to death, right? We talked a couple weeks ago about New Age thinking and about other things that seem Christian but really aren't, right? How many of those things are we exposed to on a daily basis, and how many of them do we believe? So that's it for today. My encouragement to you is this, for you guys to pray, to ask God, just like we've been doing since day one, to give us wisdom and give us the ability to see the world the way that he sees it, because he promises in James chapter 1 that he will give wisdom to all who ask for it without finding fault. We know that his truth will guide us. Ask him to continue to guide us with his truth in his word, not from the words that I'm telling you, but from his word, that he will teach us the truth, and know that he will guide us even when we have questions, we have doubts. That's okay. We know that the truth stands in the end. And so I pray for you guys today that you will continue to grow to be wise men and women, that we will be wise followers of Jesus, ready for the day and the abundant life that God has for us. So we will see you Wednesday night at youth, but we'll also see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock.